Hi guys, it's Shipfaced here, and this is my tour of the world's largest cruise ship, Wonder of the Seas. Starting on deck 3, we have the main dining room. This main dining room spans over 3 decks, 3, 4 and 5. This main dining room is more of a modern take on some of Royal Caribbean's more traditional main dining rooms. Moving up to deck 4, just outside the main dining room, you have Azumi. On Wonder of the Seas, it is teppanyaki and the sushi bar, unlike ships where it only has one or the other. So you can get a good variety of food in this specialty restaurant. Deck 4 midship, you will find Casino Royale, and this casino on the ship is huge. It has so many tables, hundreds of slot machines, and even has slot machines at the bar as well, which I have not seen on a ship before. So you will not be bored in this casino. As you exit the casino and head forward, you will find Park West, which is the art gallery on board. You can have a look at the art any time of the day. They did an art auction, and so you can have a look at these very expensive pieces of art. As you come out of the art gallery, you will find Studio B, which is the ice skating rink on board. It is also a multi-use arena, and this is it set up as the laser tag. And it was a really fun laser tag arena, and they also use it as a Red the nightclub experience, so it's a very good multi-use area. Around Studio B, they have Attic, which they use as a silent disco and a comedy club, and also the Diamond Lounge. This isn't the best Diamond Lounge I've seen, as it doesn't have any windows, so they use the virtual balcony, but it still has all of its normal tea, coffees, food and whatnot. They also had the Casino Royale, the Golden Room. To be completely honest, I don't actually know what this is used for. This is just like a smaller casino, so if anyone in the comments actually does know, please put in the comments below, I'll be very interested. Right at the front of deck 4, they have the Royal Theatre, which spans over 2 decks, 4 and 5. They don't have a Broadway show on this ship, but they do have a brand new show called The Effectors 2, which was really interesting, and it also had lots of drones, so that was really cool to see. Going up to deck 5, and we have the running track. The running track on Wonder of the Seas goes all the way around the whole ship from front to back. It is huge. But if you have a dining room table on deck 5, the running track is your view. But you do get amazing views out the back of the ship, especially on that sea day. It's amazing. As you come inside on deck 5, you have the Royal Promenade. Starting at the back of the promenade, we have the port and shopping desk, and we also have the room desk, where if you have any technical problems, that's where you go. Then just in front of that, they have these tablets that you can book short excursions on. And then they have the Bionic Bar. This was a really nice spacious bar, but I never really saw it that busy on my cruise. Then the opposite side of the promenade, they have the Collection, which sells handbags. Next to that, they had guest services. You'd come here if you had any problems during your cruise. I did see the line get quite big at some points, especially first and last day. Opposite guest services, they have the Rising Tide Bar, which is on every Oasis class ship and is a fan favourite. Next to guest services, they have Cafe Promenade, which is open 24/7. They have lots of snacks, coffees, and you can make your own tea and coffee, but then also if you have a refreshment or deluxe package, you can also get Starbucks here. And also lots of little nibbles, which was really nice during the cruise. Opposite Cafe Promenade, they had the Watch Shop on board. Next to that would be Next Cruise, which this is where you would go to book your next cruise on Royal Caribbean, and they would give you exclusive discounts. Then they had Sorrento's Pizza, the fan favourite pizzeria on Royal Caribbean. They had loads of seats inside this Sorrento's. They also did other dishes like colder dishes with potato and seafood, which was really nice as well. And this is also the home to 2 of 6 colour machines on board Wonder of the Seas, so this is where you would go to use your cups. Opposite Sorrento's, they had the accessory place, which was a jewellery shop. Next to that shop is the English style pub on board. This will have a really good atmosphere in the evening with live music playing inside and a good outside area as well, so you can listen to the music on the promenade. Next to the pub they had two shops, port merchandise, which they would sell merchandise of the ports the ship go to, and then they had a beauty shop which had makeup, and also it was a bit of a duty-free one as well. Opposite these two shops they had another shop called The Shop, which was the Royal Caribbean logo shop, which is my favourite on board. And in the middle of these shops they had some small stands in the middle of the promenade that they would sell more stuff. Next to the shop they had Boleros, which was the Latin style bar on board. They had loads of seats in there and it was very lively in the evening, again with live music. There was so much live music around the ship. And then they also had this weird car seat in here as well, which was quite cool to get a photo with. Opposite Boleros they had Spotlight Karaoke, which was the karaoke bar on board. It was quite a small intimate bar. They also had 2 rooms for private karaoke sessions. Just outside the karaoke bar they had the massive cowboy hat, which was a massive art piece on board. There was so much art around the ship. Behind the cowboy hat they had Starbucks. This Starbucks you had to pay for on board. Unlike every promenade it was included if you had a package. But yeah, they did a bit of food, they also did a few exclusive drinks, and they also had a little seating area around the back. And like all Royal Caribbean promenades, they have a car. This was a Mustang. I don't know about cars, I don't know what Mustang it is, but yeah, it is there like on all Royal Caribbean ships. Also right at the front of the promenade they had stairs down to the entertainment place on deck 4, which was really helpful. The promenade is a really nice area on the ship because in the evening it would really have an atmosphere where they have a live band, and then they had themed nights, so they had like formal nights and they had like Caribbean nights, and they would all have an amazing atmosphere when I went down there. So it's a really nice area on the Wonder of the Seas. Moving up to deck 6, right at the front they had the Vitality Spa and Fitness. On the Oasis class they have a cafe inside which they do really healthy smoothies, and they are included in the deluxe and refreshment package. In the spa side they have a salon where you can have your nails and hair done for formal night, and they also had a massive spa which do massages, and they had a little thermal suite as well. You just have to go up to the desk and ask for prices and whatnot. On the fitness side the gym was huge. It had loads of running machines, weight area, some bikes. They also had Peloton bikes. I don't really know how they're used on board. If you ever have a membership, not really sure. It's the only time I went to the gym was to film. The gym had portholes to the outside, but apart from that it was pretty tucked away, and you also have access to the running track from the gym. Moving to the back of deck 6 you have the short excursions, which is like an upper level of the promenade, and so they will help you with all your short excursions on board and booking them. And then you move into the photo area, which they take professional photos throughout the whole cruise, and you can go there and buy them or even have a look at them. The other side on deck 6 they have the Schooner Bar, which is on every Royal Caribbean ship and is a fan favourite across the fleet. It's the piano bar on board. It was a really big bar, they had loads of seats, and even at the bar, this is quite through all of Wonder of the Seas, they have USB chargers at the bar, which I thought was quite an interesting thing to be added. Inside the Schooner Bar they had the loyalty desk. You would go here if you had any questions about the Crown and Anchor Society. Right at the back of deck 6 you have the boardwalk. As you walk out to the boardwalk, it is an amazing feature of the Oasis class. You will find the handcraft carousel, which is a really amazing feature of this ship. The right side of the boardwalk they had Playmaker Sports Bar and Arcade. It spans the length of the whole boardwalk and it's one of the best features I think Royal Caribbean have added in a long time. It has lots of seats, so many screens, and it even has a pool table in there. And they have a small arcade in there as well. The retro machines here, they're actually included. There's a few in there that you have to pay for, and there's some more on the boardwalk as well. In this Playmakers they have the owner's box. You can rent this out if you have a group of you to watch whatever sport you want. This is the arcade outside on the boardwalk. I would also like to add the only channel they don't have is Formula 1, which was annoying as I wanted to watch that. On the left hand side of the boardwalk they have the doghouse, which they did every single hot dog that you could think about, and it was complimentary, and next to it they had Moving along the boardwalk, they had Sugar Beach, which was the sweet and ice cream shop on board. They even had a little outside seating area to have your ice creams. Next to Sugar Beach, they had the kids shop, which also sold Royal Caribbean logo products and stuff for kids. Moving along the boardwalk, they had Johnny Rockets. This specialty restaurant is open for lunch and dinner, but on the Oasis class it's also open for breakfast, and that is complimentary, so I would really recommend to go and do that. They even had a really nice outside area to sit and eat. Next to Johnny Rockets, they had this play area. I don't actually know the name of it, but you could be having lunch and they could be having fun in here. The boardwalk is also the exit of the Ultimate Abyss, but I will be talking more about the Ultimate Abyss later on in the video. And the boardwalk is where you get access to the 2 rock walls on board. Right at the back of the boardwalk, you will find the Aqua Theatre. The shows they have on this ship at the Aqua Theatre are absolutely amazing. The best aqua show I have seen by far. So make sure when you get straight on the ship, you reserve on the Royal Caribbean app. The boardwalk area was a really amazing area of the ship, especially in the evening. Moving up to deck 8, we have the music hall. This was a 2-story bar that goes over 8 and 9, and it had just music in it. Every evening there was a live band, there was also tribute acts in there, and there was also a pool table up top, which is normally more quieter than the one in Playmakers. It was a very popular venue on board my cruise. Moving to deck 8 midship, you have Central Park. This is one of my favourite places ever on a cruise ship. It's just such a unique place to have on board a cruise ship, and it is only on 5 cruise ships in the world at the moment as it stands. Starting at the back of Central Park, they had Chops Grill, which is the specialty steak restaurant on board. I have tried this on other ships and it is really nice. If you just want a good steak, I would definitely recommend this place. They even had a nice outside area. The other side at the back of Central Park, they have 150 Central Park. At this restaurant, the menus change seasonally, and they rely on small Florida farms. In between these restaurants is the exit/entrance of the Rise and Tide bar, so it takes you from deck 5, the promenade, to deck 8, Central Park. Moving through the trellises of Central Park, you will find the Trellis Bar. This was the bar in Central Park and it was open quite late. They would normally have live music in Central Park in the evening, so this bar was quite busy in sometimes. As we carry on our stroll through Central Park, you'll find Park Cafe. This was a complimentary restaurant on board and they had such a variety. They had wraps, sandwiches, soups, paninis. They had an amazing beef sandwich and that was delicious. This is where we would normally go for lunch. They had loads of seating inside and out. They had really good selection. It was never really too busy, especially on those port days. Even on the sea day, it really wasn't that busy. So this would really be a place to go and I would highly recommend it. On Wonder of the Seas, they had the new style of Giovanni's Italian, which is the Giovanni's Italian kitchen and wine bar. So they had a section for the Italian restaurant, and then they had a section for the wine bar. So this replaces Jamie's Italian and Vintages. I never tried it out, so I can't really give a recommendation. To finish off Central Park, right at the front, they had 2 more shops. Like I said earlier, Central Park is my favourite place on board. It's a really unique experience, so I'd recommend spending a lot of time here. Just before we keep going up, they have these wayfinders by every lift that have the cruise planner, weather, where you are, and they are really helpful. Also in the lifts, they have now updated the touchpad and it tells you where all the stuff is on the ship, and they also tell you where the gangway is and they can update it from day to day. So it's really helpful to help people get around this really large cruise ship. Now we're going up the lift to deck 12. As you come out the lift, there's already a bit of theming. There's a specialty restaurant on this deck. This is the only thing that's on this deck. It's located at the back and it's Wonderland. As you probably guessed, this is an Alice in Wonderland themed restaurant and you get weird food, and it is actually really nice. We tried it on board and the service in there was amazing. So as we go through this door, you will find the bar. It is a 2-story restaurant, so the top is a bar and the lower level is the restaurant. The service in there was amazing. We really enjoyed the food, and it comes at a price. It's about £50 a person, but you do get a really unique experience. Moving up to deck 14, at the back they had the card room. Now this wasn't really advertised that this was even here. But it was a really quiet space, so if you need to get any work done or do play cards, this would be an ideal place to go. At the front of deck 14 is Adventure Ocean, which is the kids club on board. This is where kids will go if they're 6 months to 12 years old. Moving up to deck 15, we have the Solarium. The Solarium was located at the front of the ship and was the first enclosed Solarium on the Oasis class ship. They had a bar in there that got busy during the day. They had loads of sunbeds all over the place, and this was a great area to get a front view of the ship. They also had an elephant and a giraffe in there, because why not? This place had one pool and these like relaxation splash areas, I don't know what to call them. They had 2 hot tubs, and then they had the hot tub that hangs over the side of the ship. There was only one on this ship. Just moving inside from the Solarium, they had the Solarium Bistro. This restaurant was open for breakfast and was a specialty restaurant for the evening. Moving just outside, they had the View. This has replaced one of the 2 hanging over hot tubs, and it was just a bar that hanged over the side of the ship. I never saw it that busy, but you do get a good view. Just outside the View, they had Splashaway Bay, which was the kids' water park on board. They had a bigger section and a smaller section depending on the kids' age. And again, around all the pools on this ship, there were so many sunbeds. Sometimes they weren't in the sun, but there was enough to go around. Opposite of Splashaway Bay, they had the beach pool. This would be like slanted, so more people would be in the water. This was a very popular place to sunbathe on my cruise. In the middle of these 2 pools is the water slides. There was 3 on board, 2 racers and a bowl. These are really fun to go on, and the queues never really got too long. They really well managed them. In the middle on deck 15 is Sprinkles. This was the free ice cream place on board. Also in the middle on deck 15, they had the Lime and Coconut. They had 2 bars on deck 15, 1 port and 1 starboard, and these would be very busy during the day. Just past the Lime and Coconut, they had this seating area for the big movie screen. This is the first Oasis class ship with a big screen, and I don't think they use it to its advantage. I only just saw random videos playing on it, so they could use it a bit better. Moving to the back of the pool deck, we had 2 main pools. As you can see, they had loads of these seats inside the pool as well, loads of seating around. They also had a few hot tubs around this deck as well. So as you can see, lots of space. They also had these tier sunbeds. They are more on other ships as well, some of the older ships, so it's good to see them bringing that style back. Moving inside on deck 15 at the back, they had the Mason Jar. This was a brand new specialty restaurant to Wonder of the Seas. It is a Southern America cuisine, and they have a bar and a restaurant in there. I never actually went in here apart from for brunch, so I don't know if the bar was packed in the evening, because I always just thought it was a bit out of the way on deck 15. The Windjammer closes at 9:30, then you head like to the promenade, boardwalk where all the shows are, Central Park. So I never really went in here, but the brunch was really delicious. At the back on deck 15 they had the Windjammer. This Windjammer was ginormous. It is the biggest on a Royal Caribbean ship. They had such a selection of food every time I went in there. You could have a view of outside the ocean, or they even had the views of the inside on the boardwalk. They had so many seats, like it was huge. I've not seen a Windjammer like this before. The Windjammer is also the place you can find the rest of the Cola Freestyle machines on board. This way you can use your cup that they give you for a package. Moving up to deck 16, at the front of the ship they had Hook Seafood. This was the fresh seafood specialty restaurant on board. It looked really nice in there, but unfortunately I did not get to eat in here. Just going outside on deck 16, at the front they had some steps up to a mini deck 17, which was like a sunbathing deck. There was loads of sunbeds and seats up here, so you could get the sun. It also had access to Social 100 Patio, which was the teen exclusive area. Moving back down to deck 16, it was the top level of the pool deck. There was loads of sunbeds up here. They also had a lime and coconut bar, they only had one up here. They had 2 of these hot tubs with glass in it, so you could sit in there and watch the TV. And they had these pirate cabanas all over the place. You could pre-book before you got on the ship, or you spoke to people at Lime and Coconut to reserve them. I think this pool deck is a very big upgrade to what was on Symphony and Harmony. I really like the Lime and Coconut theme, it really gives the pool deck a bit of colour. Moving inside on deck 16, they had it unboxed. this shop was just vending machines. They had trading cards, suntan lotion, makeup, electronics, plasters, really any essentials. This is where you would come and it would be open when you're at sea, and it was really helpful. Opposite on box they had Social 100, which was the teen club on board. On deck 16 lift lobby you'll find the big model of the cruise ship. Now I love my cruise ship models. This is one I need in my collection. Just before we go outside on deck 16 we have the arcade. Now this was a really cool arcade. We spent quite a bit in here. We like doing the basketball, skee ball and air hockey. It is quite expensive at $2 a go, but we had fun. Going outside on deck 16 you have O Loco Fresh. This is the complimentary Mexican restaurant on board. They had tacos, burritos, it was really delicious, and they even had their own bar here with some exclusive cocktails as well. Moving on to the sports deck, you will have the mini golf. This mini golf was actually renovated while we were on board, and we got to play it on the last day. And if I'm being completely honest, it is one of the worst courses they have on Royal Caribbean. It looks amazing, but at night it looks lit up and it's amazing, but half the holes I didn't even understand what I was doing. Brand new and exclusive to Wonder of the Seas, they have Wonder Playscape. This was an outside play area for the kids. It has replaced one of the flow riders that would normally be on another Oasis class ship. It looks really cool. I didn't really see it that busy on our cruise. Moving to the left hand side of the sports deck, they had a few ping pong tables, and these were open all day and you could do it at any time. Moving along, they had the sports court. This had basketball, football. They also had some volleyball in here as well. They really used this and had a lot of activities going on in here. Then they had the entrance to the zip line. You would hang over 10 decks and zip line over the boardwalk. Behind the sports court they had the flow rider. This was the only one on board. They also had quite a lot of seating around the flow rider because it can be very entertaining at points. Next to the flow rider they had the wipeout bar. And right at the back of deck 16 they had the ultimate abyss, the largest dry slide at sea. This would take you from deck 16 to deck 6 in about 12 seconds. So Wonder of the Seas go up to decks 17 and 18, but that's the brand new sweet neighbourhood. I did ask to go and film, but they said no. But I found some footage on Royal Caribbean's press centre, so here we go. This is the Coastal Kitchen and the Suite Lounge. It looks really nice in there. So this is where you'd go if you were a suite guest for dinner, lunch and breakfast. And then you also have the Suite Lounge, which you can just relax in all day. Moving up to deck 18, then you have your private suite sun deck. So there was lots of sunbeds. You'd have your own bar up here as well. And there was also a hot tub, and they also have the beds that are in the water as well. So there was lots of place to relax in the sun. Again, this is not my footage, this is from Royal Caribbean's press page, because the ship's docked in perfect day and I've never been there, so I'm very jealous. So that concludes my tour of the world's largest cruise ship, Wonder of the Seas. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed my tour of this beautiful ship. If you have liked the tour, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can bring you more content like this. I'm also on Instagram and on TikTok, so go, link in the description to go and follow me on there. Thank you for watching. It's been Shipface here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.